for those grid triangles that are going to go on the bow, we are not going to use the usual shiny polyurethane varnish. Why? It's very slippery and we want to be able to stand on those triangles in the bow. Also, to be able to varnish in those little corners and holes is very easy. But if we have to varnish again and have to sand in each of those little holes, it's going to take forever. So we've got Sparlac Settle deck exterior. I don't know if it's a varnish or a stain or an oil. Either way, it's UV proof, it's waterproof, it protects the wood, and it's very easy to maintain, as in every time you want to apply it, you just chuck more layers on top. You don't even need to sand it. You can, of course, if you want. So this is going to be a nice test because I would like to apply this on the deck. We would like to apply this on the entire deck as well, as the polyurethane varnish will just leave everything very slippery. So small test on the triangles that we're going to put in the bow. Hopefully it looks nice, and hopefully we can continue using this product.
We have built this beautiful grating triangle for the bow a while ago, but we haven't installed it into place yet because we still needed to protect it with varnish, resin, or whatever it was. As we were focusing on painting the hull, this was just waiting on a corner. Now, I decided to tackle the protection task. With and without. So you can really see the difference. It's looking super nice. I still need to do this one, and then when this is ready, we can finally put it into place.
Now for the moment of truth, and this is probably one of my most favorite parts of the boat. Not only are we going to have something really cool here to stand on, but this is where the nets are going to come. Now for the moment of truth, that one is there, and that one goes there. How cool is that? Not only do we have these triangles here with a kind of grid, also it looks nice, it lets water through, it doesn't, whatever. I think this looks amazing. How cool is that? I'm going to stand on it for a second. I'm looking forward to this moment. The outside of the superstructure, I think, only needs one more layer of fairing compound before we can sand it down for the last time and apply the primer. Haven't been showing much of that because you've seen it all on the roof anyway. Either way, just gonna try and crack open the emergency window to go test as well, and then just so we don't need to tape it, and we can also fair behind it, and then we'll get fairing. Now the plan is to let that all dry. All three sides of the superstructure are done. Tomorrow hopefully we can sand it down, and there is hopefully not too much to touch up, but we will find that out after the grey primer, just like we did on this roof over here. The grey primer shows a lot more holes than white or light green paste on a white paint. It's been a scorcher for the last few days, and now it just tipped it down, and that's how it happens here. Humidity rises to 1,000,000%. And nothing can get done except for making drawers and plumbing and electrics, which is what we're doing now. The side of these walls are looking amazing. Once the sun's out, I'm going to try and already get the first layer of primer on so that we can get this over and done with. And I really want to get these stays done properly so they're not just fastened down onto a cleat down there. Yeah, it's also going to clear out all the stainless steel that's inside the boat finally being in our way. Just wanted to get the GoPro quickly to film the time lapse of this wall being painted. Oh, look at this, how fast he works. He's insane. It's already got the first layer of primer on. Dá para passar uma segunda vez, né? He's gonna go over a second time, but that was so fast and I'm very impressed. And what do you guys think of a grey superstructure? Or another color, up to you guys. Anyway, you can watch him going over a second time with the paintbrush in a time lapse. Enjoy! And P and I are really debating if we're gonna paint this the same color as the hull or if we're gonna paint it another color. And P&'s unfortunately not here today to see what it would look like in another color, even though it's just a primer. But what do you guys think? You wanna keep it like white roof, another color walls, and then a white hull? Or do you wanna have all white? We don't know either. Anyway, when P's here tomorrow, she can have a quick look at this and then decide what paint this is gonna be. I have no idea because she has crazy ideas with her colors. Like crazy ideas. I like them though. So we'll see what she says.
I am in love with having the house in a different color. Even though this primer gray is not the color I would choose for Yabá, I already think it looks so cool that this is different from the hull. The thing is, we need to choose the color, and it took me almost 2 years to choose the color for the hull, and I really hope it doesn't take me another 2 to choose the color for here. So here I have the finalists. 2 different palettes, like the green shades and the blue or the Alaska white. It's not exactly the same, but it looks a lot like the Alaska white or light blue. I think the dark blue is absolutely beautiful. I'm just scared it might make the inside feel a bit too hot on a sunny day, but I think it looks so nice with the wood. Can you see that? Can you see what I mean? The light blue is also super cute, but then this sagey green really wins my heart, I think, with the wood. Now it's dark, so it's not too hot, and even brighter. I'm really having a hard time choosing, and Ben's really losing his patience with me because he really wants to paint this ASAP. But if I cannot figure out what I want, he cannot paint. So you guys want to help me out in the comments? That would be so helpful.
It will help me out loads. Okay, hold them up and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Light green is number 1. Medium green is number 2. Dark green, 3. Then same color as the hull. 4, light blue. 5, dark blue. 6. So, let's vote. I really don't know what to do here.
This is the bit that I just welded. Of course, the screw or the thread still has to be done properly. That's gonna go on the other side of this with the hose coming upwards. Cool. However, this has to be welded almost diagonally onto here. And that's going to be the outlet of the cooling system of the gearbox coming up through a hose in here and out the exhaust. Anyway, I've figured it out. First step, cut the thread off, so I'm just left with that. And then I might cut a tiny angle to it, but not much, so I don't have to start cutting crazy shaped holes into the exhaust. And then I'll just come down and weld that on, and then that should be nicely connected with this. There we go. Hold it up against there, draw around it, drill a hole, weld it. I'm working on something small right here downstairs, down on the ground. It's going to be the support for the hoses. It's taking forever. I'm literally using a small drill, but I'm halfway through the last hole, and then I'll go and paint it, cut this at the right size so it sticks out far enough, you'll see what I mean, and then drill a hole so I can fasten it to the bottom of the engine. Over there you've got them all having fun. Nico's finishing fairing the roof. We're really close with that. Got a really cool plan for you guys, which we're going to see very soon. And Gilson's working on some of the finishing touches of where the roof of the superstructure joins the pilot house windows. But we're getting there. It's a sunny day. We're working outside. I'm working in the shade because it's a scorcher. But yeah, we'll finish this and I'll head up into the engine room. I told you down there that you would understand what these are now that I'm in the engine room. The only thing I need to adjust now is choose this length, drill the hole where it has to be, and then we can use it. This, for example, has to be fastened somewhere here. And the only thing that's made for fastening is this, whatever it is here. However, this means the tube or the pipe rests on the starting engine, which we definitely don't want. So this is going to be removed and replaced with these two new beautiful brackets. Now I just need to measure how much we need to cut away, and that is what we can then fasten these onto. Any height we want, even up to here. And P's very upset because she says this is going to ruin her beautiful engine. But I'll take off 8 centimeters. Going well so far. I'm putting 2 hose clamps where it's possible, where it's not I'll just have to put 1. One thing I have to change though is this is pointing outwards too much and it has to point down. However, this is all filled with water, so I'm going to have to find a way to get rid of all this water, or at least most of it, so I can loosen those hose clamps over here and point it down without making a huge mess on the alternators and in the engine room. And then I can decide where this goes, which is what sends salt water from the output, which is that of the heat exchanger, through a hose to the exhaust. This should be without water now, or at least a little bit of water, which means I can now rotate this hose downwards so it fits nicely and can connect to the exhaust system. So it was a big mess. I covered up the alternators and I tipped it all into buckets. Let's see if it's all empty enough. That's pointing down now over here, so I think we can get the exhaust, the outlet of the salt water running closer so it's not sticking out as much. Now I just need to connect it all and hope it all fits nicely. I've also got the brackets that are up there drying that I'm going to place here that I can fasten stuff onto. I've just done an extra few welds in there to make them stronger. And now I've finished these two brackets, I've made an extra support here just to strengthen it a bit, and now hopefully you can see this is all going to be loose and there's another hose coming across and whatnot, maybe wires, and these will just be able to fasten stuff onto just to keep it organized. Isn't it just so amazing? Those moments when you fill up a bucket, taking loads of care, and the bucket just falls. I've quickly zip tied this on just to hold it in place, and this will easily connect here to the exhaust. Loads of the hoses are in place, one here, that's mainly the ones that go to the exhaust. We need the one that goes from this heat exchanger of the gearbox to a little hose somewhere back there, which is that stainless steel pipe with that little side T-piece. However, this needs to have a little U in it so it can make a turn and that the hose isn't sticking out so far. So I'm going to take this off and weld it. I wish I didn't have to, but if we want to keep this engine tidy and working, it's the best thing. Also, we've got one nice 1.5 inch hose left, which I was going to use to connect the pump to the inlet of the heat exchanger of the engine. However, it's slightly too big for the pump end, so I'm going to save that one to connect to the through hole of the engine, and then I'm just going to change the connections of the pump. Whatever, I'm going to stop talking, I'm going to get welding, and I think, what is it, 2:15? I think we can be done today. Video. There we go, this is in place now, so now I can actually point it to where one end will be here, just like so, and then this will connect here, very close, very small bit of hose. I'm very happy that it's making this loop. So this is the goes in through here, out here, through this hose, and to the exhaust, which is behind me. I'm very happy about this. Hopefully the engine will last 100 years, and this weld will too. I went for hopefully the last shop until we need to work maybe the exhaust and stuff, but I've got 2 more hoses. Got some wire clamps, and also for you guys and for me, of course, I googled what the name is of this hose coupling. I am going to clean all this burn up. The weld is right, it's also waterproof. That goes on the other side, but that's the next step. But I'm going to put the short hose on, which is a 1-inch hose, from here to that other side. Let me just show you, because I've been talking about it for a while. It is, can you see it? This. One more hose connected and one more to go for today, which is going to go from here to that piece I just welded. Let me grab it. Over here, you can see exactly where the hose ends. It's very hot, everyone's left, but I'm almost there. Two. This is what our engine is going to look like roughly. Of course, I'm probably going to replace these. I don't know how hot this gets. Either way, this is just literally something to make it sit as it should and cut the hoses at the right lengths. Anyway, what's missing now is still the entrance to the pump, which is going to go from a through hole up into here. The plan is that the water will get pumped here with the pulleys over here, go through here. This is shut in case we want to have another hose going up or whatever to wash the deck or anything that requires salt water and this pump. This goes from here through this hose up in this kind of DIY welding whatever through some copper tubes here or bronze tubes, I don't remember. Anyway, it's the tubes that will cool the water inside here, the fresh water. So the salt water going through these tubes cools the cold fresh water, which is what's cooling the engine, comes out of those tubes into this over here. It's all nice and sturdy. I think I'll replace these and this one over here for one that looks like this. They're a lot stronger. Anyway, it goes through here, through this piece of stainless steel and straight out the exhaust, which we don't have yet. It's actually over there. Of course, there's this little T or the splitting that goes here and that runs all the way. Oh, let's get all the way around here into here, runs through here. These hoses are connected to the gearbox, or I think it is called a gearbox, even though it's only got forwards and reverse. Goes through here. Of course, whatever gets used here gets thrown back in, goes up this hose and out here through the transom over there. I think that's about it for the salt water, except for the input, the through hole. We've got the through hole and we've got the hose. So now all we need to do is install it. However, it's late, it's dark, it's mega humid. It actually looks darker outside. Anyway, I'm very happy we've got this done. I might just like kind of, for example, zip these two together so this one doesn't wobble. Zip tie that together. Double check everything's nice and tight before we of course start the engine. If there are leaks, of course, in the through hole, we're going to have a big tap or a shut off if ever we need to work on any of these hoses, or if any of my welds aren't good enough. Turn the big through hole tap off, take off whatever we need. I'm happy about this. One step further. I think the next steps are, like I said, the through hole for the salt water and connecting these 4 diesel tanks together and having a little hose going there. But anyway, that's for another time. Stay tuned, because we have got a lot of cool stuff coming. And it's going fast. Like this was done in no time. Just had to go up and down to the shops a lot.
I am here to give a quick shout out to Ben for doing the saltwater system, but the main shout out is for you guys. Our exhaust is wrapped. I don't know if you remembered, I was really struggling because I didn't know which material we should use there. I thought every single tape of these had asbestos in it, and then when I ask you guys, you answer me in the comments there are new tapes, they have different materials, so I went after one of those. I think the one we ended up choosing was ceramic fiber, and now we are protected against getting our hands burned and also against any bad fumes that could have come from asbestos. So I'm super happy that you guys helped us find the solution.
And also, none of you said it was really itchy to work with, and both me and Orlando, I don't know if you watched the video, Jilson had long sleeves on, we're just itchy for days. But yeah, thanks for suggesting this material.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much, David, Martin, David, Mark and Jess, Paul and Robert for joining us on Patreon.
And thank you Melody, John, Antoinette and Brenda for supporting us through PayPal. And of course, thank you so much for hitting that super thanks button, Joseph, Dwayne, James, Don, Wiley, James, Laurie,
Greg, Jens, Malcolm, Nathan, Kurt and Walker. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all for watching and see you next Sunday.
And don't leave before you've clicked that subscribe button or the like button.
We are serious about that.
Look how serious.